Hey guys, I have not gone to the beach, although this is as close to a beach as you get in the mountains. Look at here. Doing a little exploring today. I'm really just doing some wandering and looking. And it's not completely blind wandering. I'm actually looking for an old river crossing. But I'm always going to spot something interesting and beautiful. So, thought I'd share a little bit of it with you, and maybe we'll run across something old and historic. But for right now, mountain seashells, freshwater mussels. They're all over this little bar. As you can tell, I'm surrounded by water. And I thought maybe something might wash up, so I walked out here. And I've got a couple things spotted right off the bat. Got an old golf ball laying in here. Seems like you find those everywhere. And over here, got a pair of shades sitting in the sand. We'll check those out in a minute too. I think they're broke. Not seeing us, hoping some old bottles or something might wash up out here. A lot of those mussel shells. It's part of the Native American diet. We don't often think about mussels. All right, guys. Well, that's the only two things I've spotted so far, but I'm gonna mosey on down the river and see what we can come across. Well, guys, this is a first. This video is being recorded on National Forest property. Now, I am out here looking for signs of Native American habitation. I'm looking on the ground, even though there's not a lot of ground to really look at, lots of grass. I'm looking for artifacts. And you may go, boy, History Hound is about to get himself in trouble. Well, I want to explain to you something. It is absolutely illegal for me to collect artifacts, to dig a hole, to excavate in any way on National Forest land. And those are rules that I take seriously. But I think sometimes because that rule exists, many people think, well, I just need to avoid that land for activities like looking for ancient history. And that couldn't be further from the truth. National Forest land contains some incredible Native American history, and it's there for you to enjoy so long as you enjoy it in the right way. We're going to see some incredible Native American history right on this spot, and I'm going to enjoy it, and I'm going to film it, and I'm going to show it to you, and I'm going to leave it here. Now, why do I want to leave it here? National Forest land is protected, but it also provides a wonderful opportunity for trained professionals to come out and excavate and do digs and learn far more about this land than I ever would be able to. And that needs to be protected and preserved for them. So if you're interested in artifact hunting, if you're interested in Native American history, hey, National Forest land, it's a good place to start, so long as what you find remains undisturbed and out of your pockets. Well, this is as fine a spot for a Native American camp as you can get. Got the river right over here. Got some nice elevated ground over on this side out of the bog and out of the marsh down in the low areas there and the flood zone. And another thing that I'm seeing, something the Native Americans depended on. I believe that's river cane, big stand of river cane growing. And they used river cane for everything. Baskets, furniture, for, well, arrow shafts, drill shafts. It goes on and on. We'll get a little closer look at it when I get closer over to it. There's the river. I did just stumble across my first piece of history. And boy howdy, I hope I can spot it again. There we go. Right here. Very small. Alright, a little piece of pottery. Got a little design left on the outside of it there. I knew they were here. We'll see if they left anything else laying around. Here is the river cane I was talking about. And I mean, this is as handy of a tool as it gets. These things can be straightened and smoothed to make arrow shaft. Apply a little bit of heat and smooth these up. These little ridges here in between the cane segments. And what's interesting is a lot of the banner stones that we find that are drilled, are pretty close to a diameter about this size of the hole. And also we've got partially drilled banner stones. And what we see is at the bottom of a stone, meaning they didn't drill all the way through, but at the very bottom, there is a circular drill mark with a little nipple of stone on the inside because, of course, cane is hollow. So they were using cane along with some sort of a grit, some sort of a fine gravel grit to do their drilling. Well, I'm thinking this might actually be the ford that I've been looking for. This is about the widest this river gets. And I mean, all the way across, all the way to this point over here, it looks like it don't get more than maybe a foot or foot and a half deep. This might be it. I just kind of wanted to find it out of curiosity. I know there was one around here somewhere. Can't swear to it, but it looks like a good option to me. Check out this tree. Look at that thing. Ain't that the gnarliest little tree you ever seen? Man, that thing is all twisted up around itself. Look at that. That is kind of cool looking. Well, this is about as pure as a first-time hunt as you're probably going to get on this channel. So maybe a good opportunity to show you what I'm looking for. And what I'm looking for is stuff like this. So as I'm coming through this area, I started to notice larger pieces of crushed quartz. Now you can find crushed quartz, in various places, but when you start to see a large quantity of it, especially close to something like a river, and it's that rough, jagged quartz. I'm gonna keep showing you a few more pieces that I spotted along. Well, that's a really good sign that material was being worked, processed. And that's something the natives would do at every single camp that they were at, process materials. So I'm seeing a lot of that jagged quartz. And some good quality material too. There's a really nice chunk, if I can find it again, that was just kind of laying out. Good quality stuff. There's another piece. So I knew that I really, really need to keep a sharp eye out, because more than likely there's going to be some artifacts, identifiable. Where's that leaf? That's a leaf. So came along over here and I saw that poking up out of the ground. And so what is this? High quality quartz, bifaced. And that's a broken blade. So first time ever being on this spot before, and that's what I'm looking for. That kind of helped keep me in. May not find another thing here, but we found something, didn't we? One other thing that you can use to find something kind of cool in a spot like this, when you know you got a river and you've got a Native American encampment. Well, one resource they're going to be getting from that river is fish. And they often, well, they use fish traps to do that. Some of those fish traps survive and can be seen. They're called weirs. And you can use your ears to find a great location for that by listening for the sound of running water. Now you think, well, the whole river's running. Yeah, but it's deep in places and silent. But then it's shallow in others, and a shallow place is a good place for a fish weir. So as I'm sitting here listening, I hear running water over in this area. So we're gonna have to hike through that and see if there's anything over there to be seen. All right, this is perfect. Perfect. And I'm almost positive that is the weir right there. Let's walk out there and take a little closer look. All right, guys, I am actually at the mouth of a fish weir right now. And you go, oh, I'm not seeing it. Well, there, you're seeing it right there. From here, all the way over to there. And behind me, right here, would be the outlet. And then there's another arm that runs right this direction. And you go, that's just natural. No, it's not. It's not. If you look, see these rocks? This is mostly made up of rocks. You know, some good sized ones. But these are all rocks human beings can move. And this weir would have stood out of the water. It would have gone from that bank and it would have completely stood out of the water all the way to this point right here. Then there would have been some sort of a basket trap or maybe even a fence of some sort built at the end. And then of course that wall would have gone up right over there. And as the fish came down the river, especially through those little riffles up through there, they're gonna funnel right down where the most current is and right into the trap. And it's just awesome to think that I'm sitting here all those years later. I mean, my goodness, if this phone was a time machine, who would we see standing right there pulling the fish out of the trap? Almost see them. So if you're not convinced that what I'm telling you is true, I'm going to show you a Google Earth photo of this spot in which you're going to see exactly what I'm talking about. History all around us, right under our noses. It just takes learning a little bit and you start to see it. All right, guys, on my way out. Had a good long walk, found a few things, and just spotted one more little piece right here. There we go. Piece of that chert. And that well could have been a little thumb scraper, although it is not napped. It is just all one solid flake. I don't think it is. Maybe a little bit on that edge there. That could be just natural breakage there, though. All right, more indication that they were right here.